Well, good evening, folks. Welcome to our financial aid online session. My name is Morgan Pellerin, and I'm an admissions advisor here at SUNY Plattsburgh. And I'm happy to be hosting this event with Carrie Rubold, our Associate Director of Financial Aid, who will be going over the financial aid process at SUNY Plattsburgh. During the presentation, feel free to use the chat feature on the online platform to ask questions. Just please be sure to send the questions to the panelists. That way we can get through as many questions as we can throughout the evening. The session will be approximately 1 hour, and we'll do our best to go through the financial aid process and answer as many questions as we can during that time. So once again, thank you for attending.
Thank you, Morgan. Thanks, everyone. I appreciate the opportunity to talk with you tonight. Happy to share a little bit of information about the financial aid process that you're about to go through. And it is a bit of a process. There can be some steps involved. There can be some questions that may pop up along the way. What I'm hoping to do tonight is share with you the information that will get you started in the process, give you the resources that are going to be available to you to help you through the next several months of paying for college and the preparation that that entails. So we're going to talk about the application for financial aid, that process, the award letter that you've received from us hopefully already or will be shortly, and what that entails, how to access your financial aid information on your MyPlattsburgh account, the total costs of college, direct and indirect, and the processes for getting the bills paid, student employment opportunities at Plattsburgh State, guest account access, and how to get in touch with us when the need arises. So the application process for financial aid, we ask for students to complete both the federal aid application, which is the FAFSA, and the New York State TAP grant application, which is the TAP app. If you've completed the FAFSA already, there was a link at the end of the FAFSA on the confirmation page that directed you right out to the TAP application. And if you followed that link, the TAP application will be pre-filled in for you. So there's only a couple additional items to update on that application. If you have already completed the FAFSA, but you missed the link for the New York State aid application, you can go directly to their website as long as it's been at least 3 days since you submitted your FAFSA. Their website is tapweb.org, and submit the application directly there. We encourage families to submit both the FAFSA and the TAP application, even if you feel that there's a chance you may not qualify for much financial aid. There's really no harm in submitting the applications. They are free and they are confidential. They give you the ability to know what options exist for you when it comes to paying for college. If the options, the results of your applications are such that you only maybe qualify for student loan and parent loan opportunities, and those do not interest you, then you can simply decline those awards. You're not required to participate in those programs. But we'd like the opportunity to review your application and let you know what financial aid opportunities may be available, and they could include things like work study or a small grant or a scholarship or whatever. So there's really no harm in submitting your financial aid applications, and it can be very helpful when it comes to getting the bill paid. If you filed your FAFSA already, and SUNY Plattsburgh was listed as one of your college options on the FAFSA, you should have received from us a response to that FAFSA called a financial aid award letter. We send financial aid award letters via email to the email address that the student listed as their email address on the FAFSA. So reference your email account and you will find a PDF attachment with the financial aid award letter sent from our college. We began sending financial aid award letters around February 16th, and we send them about once a week. If you did not receive a financial aid award letter from us, it's possible that your FAFSA has been processed and either Plattsburgh was not listed as one of your college selections, so we don't have access to your FAFSA, or maybe there was a complication with the FAFSA that requires resolution before we can offer a financial aid award letter. If that is the case, that there's something that needs to be updated on your FAFSA before we can proceed, we should have sent you an email advising you of an outstanding requirement. And that outstanding requirement email will direct you to your MyPlattsburgh account to give you advice on what items are needed to follow through on your FAFSA completion. Regarding the award letter, if you have received the email from our office with your award letter attached as a PDF, the award letter goes through 3 steps. It begins by advising you of your financial aid opportunities. And those financial aid programs that are awarded to you are listed by type. So it's either a scholarship, a grant opportunity, a work opportunity, or maybe some type of loan. It advises you of the status of the award. So an accepted award means that it's pretty much finalized. It's ready to go and ready to be available to you to help get your bill paid. If the award that shows on your financial aid award letter says that it's estimated, that may mean that we're waiting for some response from the federal or state government to finalize it. For example, all of you who have been offered the New York State TAP grant and the SUNY tuition credit, those all show as estimated awards currently. That's because even though you may have applied for the New York State grant program, that award will not become final until we get offered a state budget through the legislative process. The earliest that New York State will finalize a budget will be April 1st. Oftentimes it will take beyond April 1st for a budget to come out of the state legislature. So it may be several weeks to even maybe a month or more till we have an accepted or finalized grant award from the state. You will get notification from New York State of your final grant award, typically via email as well, and then we get the notification and we'll update the status of your award and the amount if necessary once New York State has made your award determination. Other awards in your financial aid award package may be listed as offered. When we offer an award to you, that gives you the opportunity to say whether you wish to participate in that financial aid award program or not. Most often, student loans and work study are offered awards. So you are not required to participate. The opportunity exists and you can say whether it's an opportunity you're interested in or not. Now, many of you have been reaching out to our office in the last week or so now that you've received your award letter and have advised us that you're still waiting to make your college decision and you're concerned about finalizing or making the award offer an accepted award because you haven't yet fully committed to SUNY Plattsburgh, and that's okay. You can do what you're most comfortable doing. You can either accept or decline the awards. And if you choose to not attend Plattsburgh, we certainly will just cancel the awards that have been offered to you. You're not obligated to them. If you want, you can just leave the awards as offered and wait till you feel comfortable with your college decision and then proceed a few weeks from now with finalizing your award decisions. Whether you make your award decisions now or you make them later, at any point in the future, if you would like to change your decision, so for example, you said, yes, I want the loan, and then later you decide that you do not need it, or you would like a reduced amount from what you originally accepted, you can always let our office know, usually via email or some type of written notification, that you'd like to change your award decision, and we certainly can work with you on updating your award decision. It's really important that you pay attention to that award package that's offered to you and have an understanding of the type of aid being offered. Obviously, a grant or a scholarship, that means free money usually, so it's money you don't have to pay back. That's the stuff you want a lot of. But sometimes there are requirements for receiving and maintaining those awards. If you've been offered a scholarship through our admissions office, your scholarship notification will let you know what requirements exist for you to keep that award, such as maintaining full-time status, maintaining a minimum GPA requirement, and maintaining on-campus residence, possibly. If you've been offered a grant award from New York State or a grant award from the federal government, those typically require that you maintain the income eligibility each year, and you'll fill out a new application each year, so your awards could vary based on how your income and other household circumstances change from each year to the next. Loans are what you really want to pay particular attention to, because that means somebody at some point in the future will be paying back those financial aid programs, and usually with interest. And we'll talk a little bit more later about the student loan programs. The other award that's in your award package possibly is the Federal Work Study Program. Work Study is an opportunity for you to potentially become hired as a student worker on campus and receive a paycheck for the hours that you work. And Work Study is an award that you can accept and possibly never participate because you choose not to seek employment, or you seek employment maybe and don't secure a job. There's no harm in accepting a work-study award offer. It doesn't obligate you to participate in student employment, and it doesn't guarantee you employment. It simply presents the opportunity to you to seek employment. The second section of your financial aid award letter explains what your potential estimated costs may be for this year of college coming up. We list what we think tuition will be for this coming year. We've listed that at $6,770 because we are assuming that New York State plans to increase tuition $300 from what the current tuition rate is. So we've already built that into our estimated costs. Now, it would be great if New York State did not increase tuition by $300, and obviously if that happens, you will not have to pay the extra $300. But we are assuming that New York State plans to continue with the $300 annual increase. So that's why you're seeing $6,770 as a total tuition cost. Now let me mention here at this point, some of you may be families who are coming from outside of New York State. Your tuition cost amount will be significantly higher than what I just referenced as $6,770. Our website will keep you posted, our costs and financial aid website will keep you posted, all of you, on what the tuition costs become finalized at throughout the next couple months as we get that notification. The other parts of your estimated bill include something we call mandatory fees. So there are approximately 6 fees that all students pay as part of their attendance at SUNY Plattsburgh. Those include things like a technology fee and a student association fee and things like that. So those are charges that we know all students will incur. We've listed a room rent charge as an estimated cost if you're living on campus. Now, your actual room rent charge possibly could be different from the room rent charge that we've listed on your estimated bill. There are a couple of our dorm opportunities that come in at a different rate than what we've estimated, but this is a good average to work with. And then optional fees are also listed. There are a handful of fees that students can either participate in or not, such as the parking fee for parking a car on campus, or the Student Fitness Center if the students want access to our fitness facilities. And you'll have options later on in the bill process to pick and choose which optional fees you wish to participate in. What's particularly useful about us providing you your estimated bill as part of your financial aid award letter is for you to get a sense early on now of what your potential balance to the college may be for this coming year. And of course I say may because it's possible your financial aid award package could change. For example, hopefully you've all pursued scholarship opportunities through your high school guidance office and through other avenues such as scholarship searches online. And if additional awards become available to you and can go towards paying down the college costs, obviously that's going to reduce your balance due. But it's the best estimate we can offer you at this point, and it's a good starting point for you to get a sense of your ability to manage that cost and your options for managing those costs. And we'll help you, and I'll share a little more information as we go along here on what those options may be for managing your bill. The star on the slide that you see is referencing that beyond your college bill, there are other costs associated with being a college student. So we charge you for your academic activity, your room, and your meal plan, but we do not charge you directly through our billing process for your college books, for your classes each semester, supplies you may need, whether they're supplies for your academic coursework or supplies for your dorm room, personal expenses that you need, transportation to get to campus and back home on Thanksgiving break and things like that. So here we're just trying to keep you aware that beyond the bill, you will have other costs, just the basic costs of being a college student, and we suggest that you plan for approximately $600 a semester to cover things like books and supplies, and then additionally $900 approximately for various personal expenses, whether that's shampoo or winter boots, and then transportation costs as well, whether that's gas money or a train ticket or a plane ticket. On the flip side of your financial aid award letter that we sent to you, we mentioned some ways of paying those costs. So many of you will have an out-of-pocket expense after your financial aid is subtracted from your total bill. And ways for getting those costs covered include our college's payment plan. We do offer a way that you can take your bill that you're going to receive each semester and pay it over 3 months or 4 months to manage it a little more, a little better. And we'll talk a little bit more about the payment plan options in a minute. We also mentioned on your award letter that parents may have the opportunity to apply for and borrow a federal parent loan, which is where the parent would borrow to help pay for the costs of education. Again, we'll talk about loans in just another minute as well. And then there are private student loans that the students can explore. We'll postpone that conversation for just a couple slides as well. The last section of your financial aid award letter is your to-do list. Unfortunately, there often are follow-up steps to finalizing many of the financial aid programs that you're offered. So we try to outline that on your financial aid award letter. We also will send you emails about once every 2 weeks letting you know if there's anything outstanding related to financial aid or billing in order to get you prepped for the steps coming up with becoming a student and being billed and having your financial aid programs delivered to the college. So the to-do list on your PDF award letter is what was outstanding at the time that we prepared the award letter, but that to-do list is going to change as we move forward in the getting you to a student stage. Initially, your immediate financial aid to-do list includes reviewing your financial aid awards on your MyPlattsburgh account and making a decision at some point on your award offers. The award programs offered to you do not have a deadline, so that award letter does not require a response by any particular date. We're not going to rescind the awards that are offered to you, so we do not list here any kind of deadline or date because you have flexibility to take time to make your financial aid award offer decisions. But there are some things on your to-do list that may have a little more timeliness involved. Some of you, when you review your to-do list, are being asked to provide income information as part of a verification review. We're asking you for things like tax returns and transcripts and a verification worksheet. It's pretty important that you provide that information to us as quickly as you can. That information supplied to us is what will help us be sure that the awards that we've offered you are the correct amounts. If there's any reason that those award amounts need to change, we'd like to let you know that as soon as possible. So if you can provide us your verification items fairly quickly or anything else that we're asking for in the to-do list related to financial aid verification, then we'll get you a response as quick as we can so that you can be comfortable with the award amounts that you're seeing as being pretty accurate. We will point you quite often to your My Plattsburgh account. Hopefully you have had the opportunity to log into your My Plattsburgh account and get a sense of the information being shared with you there. This account will be extremely useful for you over the next many, many years. Not only now in this early admissions process where you're going to need to do many steps on your account, such as submit your housing application and sign up for summer orientation and submit transcripts and things like that, but also because it shares with you your financial aid information and any changes that have occurred with that financial information, as well as changes to your financial aid requirements. On your admissions checklist, once you're logged into your My Plattsburgh account, is where you'll find the links to submit a financial aid application if you have not done so, you like your FAFSA, complete any outstanding financial aid requirements and identify what those are, and then review that financial aid award letter that may have changed since the one we originally emailed you. This is something we encourage students to look at with very regularly, at least once a week. I would encourage you to log into your My Plattsburgh account, look through your admissions checklist, see if anything new has changed, see if something you thought you had completed maybe is not yet checked off yet, so it may require some follow-up, and then review your financial aid requirements and awards to make sure everything looks the same, or if anything new is being requested, you're ready to get that information out to us. Your Accept Award Offers page from your admissions checklist is what shows the detail of your financial aid award package, just like the information that we sent to you in the PDF document. But this is current, so if something has changed, like for example, if you have notified us of a scholarship you're receiving from the Kiwanis organization in your area or something like that, this electronic portal will show you the most current status of your financial aid award package. And this is where you can see also the offered aid and where you would accept or decline the aid that's offered to you. The scholarship, all of the financial aid awards that are listed on your My Plattsburgh account are clickable links, so you can learn more about the financial aid programs by clicking on the name of the program and getting a little more detail. Our website also offers information on all of the various financial aid programs for any more information that you may need to help make your financial aid award decisions. And then, of course, you can contact us at any time for guidance and questions that you have before finalizing your award programs. The My Requirements link from your admissions checklist will also show you what's currently outstanding and needing to be submitted to our office or needing done as a task in order to finalize your financial aid items. And this is what you do want to check fairly regularly. Right now, we are sending notifications of financial aid requirements to the email address you provided on your FAFSA. So that's the email account you would want to check to see if we've asked for anything for you to submit to us. In a few months, once you become deposited students and have progressed a little further in the admissions process, we will begin sending email information to your Plattsburgh email address. So we will use that as our primary point of contact once you're beyond the deposit paid stage of student enrollment. Our current costs for this coming year I've listed as semesterly and annually. So the New York State total cost for a student living on campus for this coming year is approximately $20,575. An out-of-state student family is going to be experiencing about $30,000 as total billed costs. The one big exception to these numbers, these are really good numbers, a great starting point for you to plan from. Where there would be a significant difference from these numbers is if you are a student who does not have his or her own health insurance coverage. If you do not, you will be required to participate in the college's health insurance program. And that will add an additional $2,000 worth of cost to your total bill for the year. That will provide you 1 year of health insurance coverage, a full 12 months. but $2,000 is expensive. So if you are a student who right now does not have a health insurance option, you have time over the next several months to explore options, and you may want to price compare to see if there's an option available to you that may be less costly than the colleges, which right now is about $2,000 for the year. We don't know the final cost for next year, but it should be in that ballpark. So your options for paying the bill. I would love it if every one of you received a financial aid award letter that said you were getting $20,000 in free money to attend the college, but that's probably unlikely. There's just not that much financial aid available. So many of you were offered federal subsidized and unsubsidized student loans as part of your award package. Student loans through the federal government used to be called guaranteed student loans. They do not require a credit history. They do not require a credit review. So students are eligible for federal student loans pretty much always, as long as you maintain a 2.0 or better cumulative GPA, remain a matriculated, which is an admitted student, and do not enter default on a federal student loan. So pretty much you will always be eligible for student loans, and we'll notify you each year on your financial aid award letter that you're eligible to receive federal student loans. Now remember, I'm saying that you're eligible. I'm not saying that you're required to participate. So this is a big decision for families, whether you're going to participate in federal student loans or not. Here's some basic information about the student loans for you to help you make your decisions when it comes to, am I going to borrow or not? Subsidized student loans, if your award package says subsidized, is available to you, that means that the interest on the student loan is being subsidized by the government, hence the taxpayers, while you're in college. So the interest you will not owe while you are in attendance. That interest essentially is being paid by the taxpayers. There's no accruing interest. The interest on a subsidized loan begins after you complete your studies or cease attendance. The interest rate at that time we expect to be 4.29% fixed. Now that probably will change slightly. The interest rate for federal student loans is changed each year on July 1st, and the rate is determined by a federal government process. We do expect it to change a little bit from 4.29%, but probably not dramatically. So again, this is a good number to work with for now. There is a fee that comes off of the top of your student loan. It's basically the cost of doing business with the federal government, of being a borrower with the federal government. So if you borrow $1,000 from the federal government, they will send us approximately $990. So that's important for you to know, because although your award letter says that you are being offered possibly $3,500 in the federal subsidized student loan, we may only receive $3,470. So you'll see a small difference between what was awarded to you and what you accepted and what actually arrives to help pay down your bill. The federal unsubsidized loan being offered to some of you in your financial aid award packages, think of unsubsidized as unfriendly, because that's the loan that has interest being charged to it the entire time the loan exists. So from the moment the money arrives to the college, usually at the end of August, the interest will begin accumulating or accruing on that student loan. And the rate is the same, is the same as the subsidized loan, so we expect to be approximately 4.29%. And that does accrue monthly. And once a year, that interest is capitalized. So unlike the subsidized loan, you will have interest occurring on that loan all the while you're in attendance. And approximately once every 6 months, the government will send you something called an interest statement, and it advises you how much interest has accrued over the last 6 months on that loan. You have the opportunity to pay that accrued interest when you receive the statement. And the nice thing about that is if you do pay the interest as you go, then you'll avoid that capitalization process, that annual capitalization, which means you're going to save yourself a little bit of money in the long run. You will not be paying interest on top of interest. Both the subsidized and the unsubsidized student loans do not have to be paid back until after the student graduates or ceases attending. So that's often why most families will agree to participate in the student loan programs. It's very helpful with getting the bill paid, but it's a debt that you can worry about later. In addition to the federal subsidized and unsubsidized student loan programs, there are other loan programs. So parents, you can also borrow to help pay for college. A parent loan is exactly what it sounds like. It is a loan borrowed by a parent on behalf of the student to help with the cost of the student's education. The parent loan will always remain the parent's debt. It can never officially be transferred to the student as part of their credit obligation, their debt obligation, or credit history. So that's important to remember. You may certainly hand your student the bill statement and ask them to pay it, but the debt will always remain part of the parent's debt obligation and credit history. Now, parent loans are a little more costly than student loans. The current interest rate is 6.84%, and the fees are also a little bit higher on the parent loans. So it does cost a little bit more to participate in this program. Also different from the student loans is that the parent loan program requires a credit review, and the parent has to meet credit criteria in order to qualify. In general, the credit criteria for parent loan is that you are not currently delinquent on an outstanding credit account. They don't tend to do a debt-to-income review. They don't really look at your credit score at all. They just want to make sure that you're current on your credit obligations. If a parent applies for and is denied eligibility for a parent loan, then the student may be eligible to borrow additional federal unsubsidized student loans. We will guide you through that process if that occurs and give you direction on your options if a denial becomes if the denial happens on a parent loan application. Some families are in a position where the parent may be willing to help with the cost of going to college but is unable or unwilling to borrow on the student's behalf. There are other types of loans such as private student loans and sponsored loans where maybe another relative may be the borrower. Getting into debt is a serious conversation and a big decision. The costs associated with the interest rates and the debt obligations are substantial. So I encourage you to really begin considering what options exist for your household for paying the college bill. And again, the estimated bill is provided in your award letter to give you a sense of what you can be planning for. And then talk with our office if you're concerned about borrowing or you just want to talk through your borrowing options and explore those a little more. As I mentioned, our college has payment plans. We bill twice a year, so you will receive a bill over the summer, usually sometime in the month of July, for your fall semester, and that bill usually is due around the start of August. You'll receive your bill for the spring semester, usually over Thanksgiving break, and that bill typically becomes due around the middle of December. Some families, instead of being able to pay the bill all up front at once on the due date, prefer to sign up for a payment plan where the bill can be broken down over more manageable payments. So our payment plan options involve a two-payment plan where you would pay half of the bill when it becomes due in August and the other half halfway through the semester in October, and then the same 50% and 50% for the spring billing cycle. Or our 4-month payment plan where you would pay a quarter of the bill over 4 months, August, September, October, and November, or January, February, March, and April. There is no interest charged on the payment plan, but there is a $35 non-refundable application fee. Here at SUNY Plattsburgh, we have several student employment opportunities. It's often a question at this point when families are trying to figure out ways to help pay for some of the incidental costs of being a college student, those supplies and soda and pizza and everything else college kids spend money on. So if your financial aid award letter contains an award offer for the Federal Work Study program, then that simply means that you have the opportunity to explore a student job opportunity that's available on campus that's being offered through Federal Work Study. If you accept the award offer in your award letter, you'll be notified in August of how to look for jobs, how to post an online resume, and how to seek the opportunity to interview with a potential employer. If you were not offered Federal Work Study in your award package, or if you were offered and you just want to know about other student employment options, we have a second student employment program on campus called Temporary Service. That does not require a financial aid application, and they usually have a job fair during the first week of each semester where you can learn about the job opportunities available on campus and talk with potential employers and apply for those jobs. After the first year of college, we also offer students the opportunity to explore participation in our Residence Assistance Program. And that's like a job in the dorms where you're helping your fellow dorm mates keep up with what's happening in the dorms and maintain decorum. And that opportunity, although it is competitive, is a wonderful opportunity for students to get a room and partial meal coverage of their room and meal costs. So it's a great opportunity to explore. Students' My Plattsburgh account, the portal to students, is really their account access. And although you may be sharing that account access now, oftentimes as students continue through their academic experience, they will update their password and their login access to that so that parents may not have the same access to the My Plattsburgh account as students. We have at SUNY Plattsburgh something called a guest account, where your student can offer you guest access to their account. And with that guest access, not only does it authorize us and the Student Accounts Office to share certain verbal and electronic information with whoever the guest account holder is, but then it also gives you electronic access to the My Plattsburgh account to certain information, such as the student bill, the student financial aid award offers, and financial aid requirements. It also gives you opportunity to make payment towards the bill. So on screen you'll see our website where you can, if you just go to the SUNY Plattsburgh website and type into the search guest account, it'll get you to this web page where your student can log in and set up access for you. That is very, very helpful. You will be, it is very common that in conversations with the financial aid office, we will be very conservative in sharing certain information about the student's account unless they have provided guest account access. So for you to maximize the opportunities of information sharing, I would encourage you to ask your student to set up a guest account for you. The financial aid award letter that we've prepared for you, the information that we'll share with you throughout your enrollment, is helpful. But there are times that we need you to share information back with us. There are times when changes have occurred in your household, and we're not aware of those changes, but we may be able to help. There are times when your family circumstances have changed from what you reported on the FAFSA. For example, parental separation or divorce or medical circumstances or retirement could occur, and all of a sudden your financial picture is very different. Students, when you change your major or add a second major or a double minor, or you want to update your course enrollment, these are all times when you want to talk with the financial aid office. The financial aid programs that you're being offered expect you to enroll in at least 12 credits every semester and complete 12 credits every semester. The financial aid award package that's offered to you is based on the data you've provided on your FAFSA and TAP applications. We don't know if that data has changed unless you reach out to us. So let us know if something is different, if you're exploring other opportunities such as a study abroad program, if you've got concerns about passing a class and what that could do with related to your financial aid, let us know. It's important that you open those lines of communications, and there are times that we can extend either very good advice or guidance or maybe further financial aid opportunities, or even something as simple as postponing a bill due date if you've got a significant financial circumstance occurring. But we don't know to extend those opportunities to you unless you reach out and have a conversation with us. Our phones are open 8:30 to 4 every day. Email is wonderful because it gives us a chance to research your inquiry and get back to you with a well thought out response. All of the staff, including the director and myself, help answer phones, and we're ready and willing to assist you. So just let us know. You'll see our contact information here, and I think we're ready for questions.
Yes, so we have received several questions. If you have more questions, folks, feel free to use the chat feature, and just make sure that you send the questions that you have to the panelists. That way I can see them, and I'll ask them to Carrie. So the first question I have, and we'll try to get through as many of these as we can and go right up to 7 o'clock. But the first question I have is related to FAFSA. That's from Jessica, and she asked, do you have to update the FAFSA with 2015 tax returns to be considered for financial aid for the 2016-2017 year?
Okay, good question, Jessica. So many of you provided estimated income figures when you submitted your FAFSA, and you'll actually get emails from FSA, which is Federal Student Aid, reminding you to go into your FAFSA and make updates to it once you know your actual income information. We don't require you to make those updates. It's nice, it's helpful, but we don't require the updates unless your FAFSA was selected for verification review. And if it was, you'll know because many of your financial aid requirements will ask you to provide your actual tax return data through the IRS data retrieval on your FAFSA, and we'll ask for some other info. So we don't require the FAFSA updates unless you're in verification, and you'll know if you are, and then you can proceed with the outstanding requirement guidance that we provide.
Another related question comes from Alex. He just filed his 2015 tax return and updated his FAFSA to reflect the actual income, and it brought his expected family contribution down.
Okay.
So he was wondering if that would change his award or not, potentially, in that type of situation.
Yeah, Alex, it very well might change your award. If your expected family contribution went down enough, it may extend the opportunity for you to qualify for something like a Pell Grant or an increase to your Pell Grant. It may change the type of student loan that was offered to you from maybe all unsubsidized to partially subsidized. It may offer up the opportunity for a work-study award where maybe you weren't previously offered. We receive FAFSA results once a week. So if you've made an update to your FAFSA, that notification within a week or so will arrive in our office, and we'll review that updated information. And if it prompts a change to your financial aid award package, we will send you an email that says financial aid award changes have occurred, and to go into your My Plattsburgh account to view the changes. So we will certainly be in touch if that reduced EFC has prompted any additional financial aid opportunities for you.
Another question that's come up from several folks kind of going through was if there was a due date for submitting a FAFSA or a TAP application.
Okay. We do not have a due date for the FAFSA, although we encourage students and families to file as soon as possible. The most important reason that timeliness of the FAFSA is important is because you're trying to make a college decision now. Many of you, although you all should come to SUNY Plattsburgh, many of you are looking at multiple colleges, and the financial aid award letter responses that you get from your colleges will probably influence, in part, your college decision. So the financial aid award letter that we can offer you is going to help you make a really informed admissions decision. That said, you can file your FAFSA really any time between now and next June, and we'll offer you a financial aid award package once we receive it, but the sooner the better.
Thank you. The next question I have is kind of a two-part question. I think some of it may be things that I can answer from the admissions perspective, and some of it are probably some things you may be able to answer, Terry. But this person has, from Ryan, I have filed the FAFSA, the TAP, and the verification forms. They're all completed. He's asking what the next steps would be. I wonder from the financial aid side, are there any next steps once he's completed all those, and then I can share the admissions.
Right, right. So on the financial aid side, if you filed your FAFSA and your TAP applications and Plattsburgh was one of your college choices on your FAFSA, you should be looking in the next week or so for a financial aid award letter to be emailed to you from our office, or some type of follow-up saying we have your FAFSA and we have further questions before we can finalize it. So look for that email from our office, and that's really, we don't require any additional applications or have any follow-ups other than those two applications. So you should be hearing from us shortly.
And then on the admission side, if you decide, you get the financial aid award, you decide that Plattsburgh's where you do want to go, the next step would be paying the $250 admissions deposit, and that will open up kind of the next steps for you in the admissions process, in the sense of that'll allow you to register for housing. Fill out a housing application. That is on a first-come, first-served basis, so students tend to want to get that done early to get their housing choice, housing preference. Then you'll also be invited to like our orientation sessions. You'll get notified of when those are. They're typically in July, and from there you'll get advisement course registration and be starting here in the end of August. So that's a little bit from both perspectives of kind of the next steps from there. Go through the next question here. The next question I think kind of had to do with, I think you had kind of spoken this a little bit to this, Carrie, but if the payment was all due at once when students get their bills, or if there is a way for them to have over an extended period.
Yeah, so the bill I should have mentioned, you will get an email sometime in July advising you that your bill has been prepared. We do not send paper bills. Your bill will be online on your My Plattsburgh account, and you'll do all updates to it regarding acceptance and declination of optional fees and signing up for payment plans and making payments. You'll do all of that right online. The bill is due on the due date, provided on the bill, so in full on the due date, unless you sign up for a payment plan, and then that extends your bill due date by whichever payment plan you sign up for, either the 2-payment or the 4-payment plan.
Okay, and the next question I have is from Destiny, and it looks like that she got a SUNY Perkins loan, and she was just curious what that kind of meant and what a SUNY Perkins loan is.
Yeah, and I didn't include a slide about that, so thank you, Destiny. The Perkins loan is a program that the federal government had canceled a year ago and was not making available anymore, and recently extended the program for 2 more years. So if you've been offered a Perkins loan this year, that's great. You may even be offered one again next year, but it will end after that, unfortunately. In the meantime, the Perkins loan that you've been offered is a fixed interest rate, 5% loan, and it's like the subsidized loan in that there is no interest being charged to it while you're in college. So there's no accruing interest during your enrollment. So you pay it back beginning 9 months after you graduate. So it's a fairly manageable student loan program, and the interest rate isn't awful, but it is a debt that you'll pay back at that 5% interest when the time comes.
Thank you. And then the last question I have from the audience is, if we have completed the FAFSA and included SUNY Plattsburgh on the application, but haven't received the award letter, who should we go about calling?
I'd love for you to contact me because that makes me think maybe I messed something up and didn't get you the information that I needed to get you since I do the award letter processing, and that's going to drive me nuts if that happens. Or maybe I sent the email, and oftentimes we're finding because of the PDF attachment, some email accounts will automatically dump that email into spam or trash. So it's possible I need to resend it to you, maybe with a JPEG attachment or something. So please feel free to call the number that you have in your in the presentation tomorrow or whenever time permits, and ask for me or whoever answers the phone. Let them know that you didn't receive your award letter. Let's check and find out why that may be, and if it's something we can, well, it's always going to be something we can resolve, but we'll certainly get that back out to you right away.
I did get one more question that came in from Olivia, and she asked, can we pay our college bill by credit card?
Oh, we will take any form of money that is normally used in commerce domestically. Yes, certainly. Credit card is great. I think we take Visa, MasterCard, and American Express, debit cards, of course. If Grandma wants to crack open her piggy bank, whatever method you want to use for paying the college bill typically is fine. And the bill will not become available until July, so you have time to really think through your payment decisions, talk with us, and make sure that we've extended as many opportunities as are available to you. Take a summer job and save up some pennies, whatever you need to do. But yeah, certainly credit card is absolutely an option, and it'll be an access that you have right through your My Plattsburgh portal.
Another good question just come in. This is in regards to if our parents are divorced, do we have to include both parents' financial information, or can we just use the parent the student lives with?
Yeah, I thank you for that inquiry. I didn't go into the FAFSA detail because I could probably spend another hour talking about the special circumstances that are in each family and how to submit that FAFSA with, with each family's individual circumstances. But your question is excellent. The FAFSA asks you to only report information on the custodial parent and the custodial parent's household. So the best way for you to think of this is to picture the roof you live under. Students, the roof you live under, whatever the parental unit is under that roof that you live under most of the time, that is your parental unit for the FAFSA. So if your parents are divorced, the roof you live under most of the time contains one parent only, and that parent is not remarried, then only the parent you live with most often is who is going to be reported on the FAFSA. Even if those parents still file joint tax returns, you'll still only report the income for the parent with whom you live with most often if they do not live under the same roof, those two parents. And if you have, and I should have said this, if you have a special family circumstance, please feel free to reach out to me. It is not uncommon, and it often involves a conversation like this so that we can give you proper guidance to get through the application process.
Well, thank you, Carrie. We've actually gone through all of our questions. I would definitely recommend to folks, if you do have questions that come up after the session, feel free to give our financial aid office a call. I know that they'll be more than happy to answer questions that you have. And thank you all for attending tonight's event. It was great to have you all here and field the questions that you had. And we wish you a safe and good evening. Thank you very much.